Good morning, everyone. My name is Megan Moore, and I'm absolutely delighted to welcome you to our Sunday morning coffee house on this Mother's Day. And I would like to toast all mothers for the common ground that we share and hold together. And I would like to thank my mother, Nancy Jane Seymour Moore, for giving me life and love and all that she's given me, particularly her love for the earth. So I'm going to hand the coffee house over to Brian Mariani, our son. And Brian.
Thank you, Megan. Thank you, Mom. And a special toast to you for your absolutely extraordinary love. And I'm very grateful. I've never had to doubt that one moment of my life. And I am a much better person because of you. Thank you so much. And to all you other mothers, thank you for all the incredible work that you do that makes the world a better place. So I'm absolutely incredibly honored and grateful to be connecting, creating, and collaborating with all of you live. This is Mother's Day, so hopefully people are with their families. I have no doubt that this video will be shared far and wide because what's going to happen today is going to be very special and unique. And I'm absolutely excited because today we're going to get to hear from Donna Koontz, and Donna has become an absolute light in my life, as well as an extraordinary dear friend that I connect with at least once a week to just calibrate my life and, continue to be moving in the right direction. She is an incredible guide for me and a dear, dear friend. She was introduced to me by Cindy Tysinger, who I believe just jumped on. I'm forever grateful. Thank you, Cindy. If you want to wave in case people don't know you. Thank you so much. And we're going to dive in today. This is a very, very special day, and I don't want to take any of the wind because this is about mothers and about what Donna is going to share with everyone. So maybe quickly, Donna is an extraordinary professional as well as an extraordinary human. She has led and trained thousands and thousands and thousands of people globally. She is on that scale of trainer and thought leader. And she's also an incredible mother and has a family that she's built over the years. And just someone that's brought a lot of clarity and light into my life personally. And I'm so excited for her to share with all of you today. And maybe if there's someone here that doesn't know Donna, you could just briefly say a bit about who you are and how you've come to be in our coffee house today. You're still on mute, sorry.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Brian. And wow, what a great job you've done raising his son. He's so kind and generous. Of course, I knew that as soon as I met him. And I do need to say happy Mother's Day to all of you as well. I have a deep reverence. Motherhood runs deep, deep, deep in me. And as this time, I feel like in the world, we're waking up to the remembrance of the divinity of the feminine divine. And it's in all of us. It's in men, it's in women. And just the qualities, the compassion, the gift of life and evolution. And, we're all mothers in some way. We're mothers to each other, to our children, to our pets, to creation, to Gaia, and to our future right now. And it's a really big thing. And I'm honored to be here with all of you. So happy Mother's Day. I have 4 children and 8 grandchildren, and I just love every one of them, just to the moon and back. Briefly, yeah, that's me. I always wanted to grow up and be a mom. I wanted to be a mom and a teacher, a mom and a dancer. I had some health opportunities early on. And so I was thrown into dance as a form of therapy, and it became a passion of mine. And as I grew into an adult, I was able to do that. I became a mother, and I had a fitness franchise, and I was on the international dance team and got to do the opening ceremonies, the World Fitness Expo, and meet lots of lovely people. And I did that until that early challenge revisited me. and I had post polio and I could no longer dance or walk. So I went from having a real passion for health and well-being on the outside in terms of the physical fitness. I taught nutrition classes to, wow, I'm sitting in a chair. If I'm not going to get better, what am I going to do to show up in the world and to really lean into my heart and why I'm here? And I thought, well, I can talk from a chair. So, hey, I'll get into training. And I did that. But along the way, Grace stepped in and I picked up a cassette tape. This is the impact we have, my friends, off of the ground just because it was dirty, right? You're littering. So I picked it up and I saw, happy hormones. I had Hashimoto's. I thought, I'm gonna listen to this cassette. And I followed the trail. Anyway, it took me into ultimately Manatech, which is where I met Cindy. And that was a quarter of a century ago. And we became dear friends. And I was training for Nikin and a few other of the companies in the wellness industry. And I became the training designer and facilitator for Manatech and went around the world now focusing on personal development. That turned into transformational development, which 25 years ago turned into vibrational transformation and relational energetics. And that's really where my heart is now. It's human potential, but it's on the inside. It's the heart and the magnificence of each of us. And in my world, everything is energy, and energy is the language of the universe. And that is present in our thoughts, it is present in our field, it is present in consciously, unconsciously. And so I aspire to empower awakened hearts and compassionate minds. Those are my 6 words, Russell, Brian. In a multitude of ways, predominantly dealing with energy on all levels. I'm not a Reiki master or anything like that. It's more HeartMath has got 30 years of research-based science. I've been with them for 25 years as a coach mentor, also as a certified trainer. And I have the deep privilege of sitting on the board of their nonprofit. So I get to witness the impact that is made globally by just waking somebody up to a remembrance of who they already are and what they already possess, their own innate capacity. And that's my heart. So that's what brought me to what I do today. And it was a mother's heart that triggered this whole thing. So I'll stop and pause and see where you want me to go, Brian.
Well, thank you, Donna. That's a great overview to get us set up to just understand where you've been. Of course, there's a lot more to that story, but it gives us an idea of how you've gotten to be with us today. And I know that you have some deep insights into this motherhood and being a mother and what that means and how we can celebrate that today. And I'm just going to sit back and listen as you dive in.
Okay, thank you. And by the way, really actually how I really got here today is because I've been involved with Cindy over the years in a number of ways, and I was part of founding leaders of Regenerous and had the privilege of working with her. And then took off some time caring for parents, etc. She reached out to me and she popped Brian on the call and introduced us. And then we got to talking, and then Brian and I continued talking. So it was through Regenerous and his affiliation with them and Cindy that I have the privilege of being here today. As far as motherhood goes, the reason I say that mother's heart got me interested in the things I'm interested in is because I had a daughter who had a lot of chemical issues, extreme chemical issues, bipolar. And she was just really having challenges. And in her teenage years, I had done everything. I had taken her to the doctors. I'd taken her to the nutritionist. She had been in a center for a while. She was extremely bipolar. She had a child that my husband and I were raising. She was self-medicating with drugs. So she was on meth. She was living on the street. And I was just constantly in fear, constantly my energy, my emotions, my body. I get extremely ill, of course. The stress was crazy. But her father had committed suicide. He was also bipolar, my husband. And so I saw this in her immediately. And I thought, okay, I cannot let this happen to her because I couldn't save my husband, but this is my child. She didn't ask to be here. I brought her in this world. I have to find a way. And I was very connected in the wellness industry, but I couldn't really get a hold on it. She did get some help eventually through natural products, But in the meantime, it was crazy, crazy, crazy. And I wasn't well. And that tape that I picked up on the ground led me to an event in Marin County where there was a guest speaker. His name was Jim McKimmey, and I had no idea, but he was a chiropractor and a globally renowned healer. And I attended the event. I listened. Everybody ran to the stage afterwards, and I left. And I thought, who is this guy? He reached out to me, found me with an unlisted number, synchronicity. He hunted around. He lived in another state. He called me at my home and said, "Hi, how are you?" And I had my good girl hat on. I said, "I'm fine." I wasn't fine. I was not fine at all. And I said, "Oh, I'm fine, thank you." And I thought, who is this man? And he said, "How are you really?" I said, "No, I'm fine." And he said, "Okay, I thought I could help you, but I guess not." And he hung up. Well, then I was like, wait, who are you? How do you know? And how do you know that about me? So I dug around and found out who he was and returned the call. And he said, "I'd really like to work with you. You're really ill. I saw your energy." Crowd of 500, and he saw me, and just a total stranger wanted to help me. So that was the beginning of the grace of the trail. And so he said, "You need to go to heart math." And I said, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Well, you need to spend more time in your heart." And I said, "I think that's my problem. I wear it on my sleeve." He said, "No, no, no, this is very different." So I went and I got there. And of course, right away, I thought, oh, my daughter could use this. My husband, I got all the people that could use it as well as myself. But they put me in the lab and gave me the opportunity to be hooked up to the EEG and to really experience the science that I was learning. So they hooked me up and they said, "Okay, now I want you to think of something that stresses you out." And that was easy. I mean, it was a crazy time. She was very violent. And so I thought of her, and yes, my heart rate variability went all over. It just went all over the board. And then they said, "Okay, now focus on your heart. Attention goes, or energy flows where attention goes. So focus on my heart. And think of something that you can really genuinely appreciate, like evoke a strong state of appreciation or love." So I thought immediately of the very first time I held her in my arms as a newborn baby. And my heart blew up, just blew up. And I watched the coherence. It was like flipping the switch for all systems aligned, inner harmony in that moment. Now we're the only creature on the earth that has the capacity to create harmonic system within all the systems, harmony. It was mind-blowing to me. But what I learned, this was the beginning of my love affair with heart math and the capacity to serve others with it. I learned that if I had the ability to stay and hold that state and hold that love or compassion, any high frequency state of being, then I could change the chemistry coming out of her brain. I could impact through my field effect her brain chemistry. And that was where the root of the issue was. And it was life changing in that moment. In that moment. Now, that was not an easy thing to do. There were times where there would be screaming, and I don't know, I was just holding on and going deep, but I know I have the capacity. We all do. We're not just in love and have love and give love. We are love. We are made of that at our core essence. That is the stuff we are made of. So to attune and align with that divine composition was what I had the opportunity to learn to do. So I did. And it was life changing, life changing. That was 25 years ago. That was the beginning of my love affair with heart math, as I said. And then I went on and continued to learn about the science. And what really, it's not just like any other meditation. It's tools and techniques based on research um, that guide you with your inner technology, self-regulation, resilience, recalibration, renewal, regeneration. Eyes opened or eyes closed. The thing that makes it so powerful, and it's such a distinction for me, is the fact that you don't have to, not that I don't enjoy doing that, but you don't have to go and sit in a room or sit in a closet or shut the outside off in order to access the inside at your fullest potential. It's really about creating a whole new baseline, energetic baseline of replacing the auto respond, the emotions that we automatically fall into, the habitual responses. The emotions are the drivers of our biology and physiology in a big way when it comes to the energetics. And so that everyday energetic soundtrack that we all have, when we wake up, there's a soundtrack. And sometimes it's low and slow, and sometimes it's a really high, joyful vibe. But that baseline, whatever yours is going to be the default unless we create a new one. So with a small amount of effort on a regular basis, utilizing these principles, you can create that new baseline. And it has to do with the autonomic nervous system, the parasympathetic and the sympathetic. Breathing is gold for me. That obviously immediately slows the system down and lets it think that it's safe. So the fight or flight switch goes off. And then there's greater cognitive capacity, that brain fog. I mean, has anybody here been stressed at all in the last year or so? you know, 5 minutes of stress or anger, 5 minutes causes your body to secrete over 140 hormones that run through the system that shut down your brain. It gives you a foggy brain. It produces cortisol, which is the ever popular fat hormone. And then it runs for about 6 hours. So 5 minutes, how many times in the last, let's say 48 hours, have you experienced 5 minutes of stress or anger? Because it's creating your future. We feed the field. Again, energy is the language of the universe, and words are cages for frequencies. So whether we keep them inside in our thoughts, in our heart, or we speak them and bring them to life and give life to what we're speaking, we're constantly broadcasting and receiving these things. The truth is in our energy, and we are the field. And what I really have loved about this journey is it started with me on a personal way and gave me the gift and the capacity to impact my own health. And then those that I love closest to me, my family, my children, my husband, my friends, my colleagues. So it started with personal, then it became social, and then it became global. The global coherence, the impact that we have on the field. And there is an initiative at HeartMath that is called the Global Coherence. And we actually have satellites outside of the planet in the ionosphere and the bionosphere measuring the Earth's field as a carrier wave. It is interaction with our consciousness and how it impacts us, how we impact it, how we impact the Earth. One big giant grid. We're all connected. That's the one thing that I'm never forget with the gift of my traveling and training and language I didn't even speak. The heart was always the connection. Love is always the connection in any language. And we cannot agree with anything. We cannot agree with what's going on in the world as it's being dismantled at a very high speed. We can have differences of opinion around what we should or shouldn't do. But the one thing we can all do is not just love, but be love. And just in the being, your presence precedes your field. Your presence precedes what you have to say. Your presence precedes, your energy. I mean, that is your energy. And so even if we're just hanging out doing nothing, if we were to go crawl in a cave and just be happy quietly, sending love, we are impacting we're leaving a permanent imprint on the global field, which affects and connects every one of us. So I have learned through HeartMath that being spiritual isn't about thinking your way into it. I have a vision board. It's not about vision boarding my way into it. It's about embodying the values of that which you want to become. If you embody the values up front, you proceed with your energy and the behavior will follow. And so being spiritual is developing the capacity to be fully human. We came from a really beautiful spiritual place and we're going back there. That's my belief. But while we're here, we're supposed to be human. We're supposed to feel all these things. Emotion is energy in motion. Let it in, let it out. And when I can embrace everything, all the boxes that we've put ourselves in as a collective, and I can love that in myself, that's when I have the capacity to love that in others fully. And that to me is becoming spiritual, being here and having that capacity to truly love without judgment to the best of our ability. So I think, and the other thing I want to say, because this is significant, what kept me on the energy trail, which was really life altering. And I haven't shared this with very many people. I share it with Brian, but I didn't realize until probably 2 months ago that what I've always considered to be an aha moment was actually a major awakening, a spiritual gift. But I was like, wow, that was really cool. Changed the way I viewed the world. But it was way bigger than that. I feel deeply called. I feel like I'm here at this time for what's happening now. I feel like we all are. That's just my opinion. And I'm committed to investing my life force, which is my energy, into that which aligns with what I feel called to do. And that is to hold love, and not necessarily just, I'm not saying fluffy love. I'm saying when somebody's in my face, I check me, is it in me? No. Oh, it's an opportunity to be love and make it easier for somebody who doesn't have that capacity in this moment to be lifted up. And I had an experience where I was jolted out of bed, like like a movie, like like if I were to be shocked with a lightning bolt. And I was shaking and quivering, and it was a group seminar, so there was other people in the room. We had co-housing, and I literally had tears streaming out of me. I felt like I'd been plugged into the wall. I was shaking and vibrating. And I'm just going to say this because I don't know how else to say it. When people say they died, my sister-in-law did, and then came back, and they have that love that they don't want to leave. They don't want to come back because the love is just indescribable. That's what I experienced. It was like a million orgasms. And I mean that in the way of la, 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 the body. It was just this whole total embodiment. It lasted for about 48 hours, and I could see through everything. Everything was energy. I didn't see auras, but I saw through the walls. I saw through the trees. Everything, like a hot day on a pavement where the sun, you get this thing. That was what it was. I looked in the mirror. I saw energy. So that was a gift for me. Do your work. This is true. How can I be a bridge? And that's how I see myself, and merge with people and meet them where they're at in a way that equips them to awaken their hearts and increase the compassion in their minds, especially right now. So that was a gift, and it was major. And I just always thought, everyone was like, oh, I want what she has, like Harry and Sally, I want what she has. But it was my moment of awakening, and I didn't even know it until most recently. So I guess I would leave with that, and just saying that we're all, this is what I wanted to say. Well, I can't find it. Oh, here it is. Okay. Your mind, your body, your emotions are all expressing through your light. So now we're seeing, feeling, embodying. The light has always been in us. And one candle lights another candle and another candle and another candle. Or it just reminds the candle that they were already lit. So we're doing what we're doing, but while what we're being is making a massive difference in the world, and standing in the presence of your own light, and a mother's heart. Again, a mother's heart. A mother could lift a car off her child. It's happened several times, most recently in Georgia in 1982. And that's that alignment of that pure God force within us. She was watching her son repair the car. They were on a road trip. The jack broke. It landed on him. And this little 5'3" woman lifted this car off of him. And these things happen often, but that's when that can't be studied very well because it's hard to turn that on. But that's just a touch of the capacity. It would take 32 billion batteries, 12-volt batteries, to equal the electrical power of one human. This is via Bruce Lipton, my buddy Bruce. So I learned that from years ago, and it blew my mind. But think about that. That's each one of us. That's the light that we have. So my thing is, live your light out loud. Whatever it is, it's only yours. There's only one you in all of the world and all of the universe, ever, ever, ever. And only you can bring what you have to bring. And I honor whatever that is. And I thank you for being here.
Thank you so much, Donna. There's so much of you that I appreciate deeply, dearly. You have an incredible gift with language. A few of the things that I always pick up on and that I hope to reverberate in my own existence and life is, you say it, I think it's, language provides the cage for frequency, I believe, something like that. And I love that because it really, part of how we create our world is through our language. And it starts with the energy, but then we're responsible for how we put that out in the world. And that's a very, very important responsibility that, through your guidance, I have started to pay much closer attention to that. And the other thing that really I got from what you said today and from our relationship that we've been building is really being mindful of the connection that we all have, and that we are all capable of living our light out loud, and that we can impact someone else's light. So in moments where I find myself disagreeing with someone or thinking that they're wrong or any number of those things, I have found myself more able to pause and recognize that they're in their light for sure. and not to judge the language or the body language or what has been said, but really understand that they could be doing something totally pure in their world towards me, and they could mean something completely different than how I interpreted it. So I've really learned a lot from you to just be mindful of that space and recognition of the light first before interacting and reacting to maybe some of the more outward things that are going on. So I just want to really honor and recognize you for being a leader with your energy and with your language. I truly believe that this message that you shared today will continue to rise on a global scale, and I'm excited to be a part of that with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Brian. I just appreciate you so much. And can I just say one more thing, like surprise, surprise, one more thing. You know, everything is an inside job. Everything out there is really in here. Our love, our spirit, God, higher self, divine of your understanding, whatever it is. So even in our silence, we are constantly leaving an energetic imprint. I mean, we think we have this whole conversation. I have conversations with myself. I'll speak for me, but I'm not really just having it with myself, regardless of the nature of the quality or the essence. It's being given to the world. And just remembering that encourages me, excuse me, to check if I get off track, because would I want to put that on other people, regardless of what it is, you know? And yeah, I hope so, but not always, but it's an inside job and we all can do that. So thank you.
Thank you, Donna. Does anyone have a comment or a question? Start waving, raising your hand. Yes, Carolyn, I see you.
Good morning, Donna. Happy Mother's Day. That was absolutely beautiful.
We love you, Donna.
Thank you. Love you back. Nice to see you.
Wow, you're always so inspirational. And like Brian said, your gift of language and expression and just, I mean, you know this, but we're just so in alignment with you, your thoughts, your energy, just so believe fully in what you're saying and know that to be true in our own lives. And just want to thank you so much for shining your light. You're just absolutely beautiful. Your aura is just glowing today.
It's so bright.
So
Gosh.
just thank you for being here and shining your light and giving us this opportunity today.
Yes.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you, Carolyn and Jana. Beautifully said. So true. Russell.
Yes, thanks, Brian. And thank you, Carolyn and Jana. And thank you, Donna. I just wanted to share that what I experienced this morning was poetry, in that you spoke your own language in your own way about your own experiences and about your own studies. And you talked about things that I've heard 100 times before, 1,000 times before over the course of my adult life, since I started my own journey, conscious journey. And what I got from what you were sharing was exactly what you were saying. It's inside each of us. And to that in some way, it's everyone's responsibility to just be themselves. And so what I experienced this morning was you being yourself, but bringing everything that you've learned, bringing everything that you've experienced in your own way, in your own language. And it was very gentle, it was very nourishing, and it was very powerful. And it was poetry to me. So thank you so much for being with us this morning. Really appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. That is absolutely, yeah, poetry is a great word, Russell, for how Donna speaks. It's very true. Janet, did I see you waving?
You did.
Yes, hello.
Hi, good morning. Donna, I just wanted to say thank you for that. One more thing you tagged on right at the end. I love it when people do that. Oh, and one more thing.
I have one more.
I have a tendency to either relive things or rehearse them. You know, if they say this, I'll say this, and you know, they said that, I should have said this. The idea that I'm still then putting those emanations out in the world was a big wake-up call. And again, Russell, I'm fairly certain, like you, I've heard that any number of times before. There's something about the way you said it this morning that made me go, I really need to stop doing that. I've known for years that I need to stop doing that, but it's an old habit. But thinking about putting that energy out into the world, even if it's me sitting in my chair on my own, that's a big wake-up call. So thank you. I appreciate it greatly. Thank you.
Yeah, Janet, I love that you brought that to the attention, because I'll never forget the first time I met Donna and had a conversation. It was so clear to me, this quote from Jim Rohn, where he says something like, if you can be a student to language and provide a brighter light to shine on someone's path, it might be the greatest gift that you could ever give to someone. And that's how I feel about Donna. She has that ability to shine a brighter light on anybody's path if they'll just listen. And that is a very unique gift. And thank you for recognizing it, Janet. It's very real. Anybody else with a question? Catherine Taylor, yay, hello.
Hello, happy Mother's Day, everybody. Donna, I just want to thank you for reminding all of us about heart math and that how much our heart can really impact Mother Earth, our true mother of today. And also, I love that you mentioned Marin County, because I spent 27 years of my adult life there. So I was flushing through, oh, do I know that person? Or where did she meet him? Where, you know? So it's wonderful to meet you at this wonderful gathering. And thank you. Just thank you for reminding us about the heart.
Thank you. Thank you, Catherine.
Thank you, Catherine. Beautifully said. Anyone else? Yes, Cindy. Hi, Cindy.
Thank you. Happy Mother's Day to everybody. Love these calls. Thank you, Russell and Megan and Brian, for these. Donna, we've been together 25 years, and no matter the first time I met you to 25 years later, hearing you speak today, you always inspire me so much. And I think all of you on the call, hopefully, it just goes directly to your heart. You know, when someone talks to you, like Donna talks to you, you just feel your whole body. It's goosebumps. It's just incredible message that really is absorbed into the heart, which, you know, is reflected back out. And I just truly want to honor you as a amazing human being, mother, friend, wife, and all the roles that you play. And I know all the challenges that you've gone through, and the beauty still within, and the heart within is just incredibly gorgeous. I just wanted to say that. So I just love you, and thank you for being on the call today and sharing the message. You know, I felt it very, very closely. So thank you. I love you.
Thank you, Cindy. Thank you all.
Thank
I'm
you,
humbled.
Cindy.
Thank you.
That was beautifully said, Cindy. Thank you so much. I love the reflecting out of the heart. Thank you for that message. Carol Patty, I see you.
It was such a pleasure, absolutely a pleasure to hear you speak today, Donna, and thank you, and happy Mother's Day to everyone. I was really struck. I mean, I think your message just hit me so strongly that I have tears. And I think what you did for me is just really validated human nature, because so many times you hear, you know, I love the whole message of coming from the heart, but so many people say, well, there are evil people in the world. It's just, you know, it's not our human nature to really be of the heart and of love. And it kind of struck me when you said, even if someone is in your face like this, you have to hold that light. And I just am wondering how you do that. Like if someone is in your face and you are really, really triggered, what do you do that helps, that helps to disengage that energy that's flowing from the other person, actually. And I'm very interested in that. And of course, if you want to look at the bigger picture, we look at terrorists and people who have so much violence. So I do believe that if we sit, like Janet said, and we put out the energy from our heart, it is going to change the world. And sometimes I feel like that's the only option with a lot of people. So I just wanted to hear more of your thoughts on that.
Thank you, Carol. I'll give you a few things. The first thing is to go to a place of neutrality. Neutral is a state of energy that is extremely powerful with a yet to be determined outcome. So it's not easy to go, oh, neutral. How I get there, first of all, is breathing. I take 5 breaths in and out slowly because it will immediately reset the system and give you kind of a jump start to a calm, clear mind. And so the first thing I'll do is breathe. And what I do is I breathe appreciation. That's a high, fast frequency. Compassion is one of the higher frequencies on the love spectrum, but that can be it too. But if somebody's really in your face, I can always appreciate me. I can appreciate the fact I'm trying to send love. I can appreciate the pain and have compassion, compassionate latitude per situation. And that's not running around going, oh, everything's okay. That's choosing how you're going to treat yourself and treat others at the same time. Knowing that you can literally, you're their gift in that moment. You're their gift in that moment. What they're doing has nothing to do with you. And all of this, don't do this, do that, take the vax, don't take the vax, you're red, you're black, you're white. What's underneath all of that is because I'm scared and I love you, because I'm scared and I care. And if you can just recognize that and just know that it's not about you. So breathing is an immediate reset of the point, and then pick something that for me, it was always appreciation. When I first got diagnosed with MS, I lost my ability to speak for quite a while. And I would stutter, and I was sitting around just appreciating life, appreciating everything, knowing the power of these techniques. And I bought myself the capacity to speak fluently. And I went, again, wow, that's the power of just that. So the power is in us, and then we activate it with what we choose to hold. And then, it's a choice, but that's what I do. And neutral, you don't have to go, oh, I love you, I love you. Just be neutral and realize their thing is them. And stay in that neutral space and have compassion and appreciation for yourself, at the very least, for making that effort and caring. That's what I do.
Thank you.
I hope that helps,
Yeah, it does. I have one more question. I actually purchased a heart math machine and it's sitting in my house because I don't know how to use it. So I'm wondering if you teach how to use that, or if I could work with you in some kind of way.
I do, and my contact information is available at the end, and also a little video. I want to leave you all with something that we used to charge. It's a 9-part series. It's 90 minutes in its totality. So there's 4 minutes on this one and 5 minutes on that one. But we used to charge for that. There's 8,000 trainers globally right now. But we started giving it away for free in COVID because stress is off the hook and people really need this. So we'll be directing to that at the end also. And yes, you can reach out to me and we can have a call and see if there's a way that I can meet you where you're at and add value to your life.
Great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you for the question, Carol. And as Donna said, her email address is in the information that we sent out to everybody. And she has opened that up to anyone that would like to connect with her. So please do connect with her. There's a lot more beyond just what she has shared today. And I just, as Carol was asking that question and Donna was responding, there was this quick little story that one of my mentors told me about an experience he had 30 years ago at a bar where he walked in and there was an older gentleman there who had been in the war. He was clearly a Vietnam vet. and there was an open stool next to him, and he tried to go over to get the stool, and the Vietnam vet looked at him and he said, "If you even think about sitting in that stool, I'm going to end you." Something like that, probably with a few more curse words. And my mentor, who was telling the story, he said that he took a pause and he breathed and he looked up at the man and he said, "Hi, I'm Chris." And he just held out his hand and said, "Hi, I'm Chris." And in that moment, he described that this angry, older, fearful, I mean, imagine the things that this man had been through, literally just fell away.
Wow.
And he reached out his hand and shook his hand, and Chris said, "Hi, I'm Chris. Let me buy you a beer." And he said that they talked for hours and created a friendship just from that one moment. So I think that's the invitation that Donna was saying. There's the breath, and there's that moment of pure light and empathy and understanding to say, "Hi, I'm human and you're human. Let's start there." So thank you, Donna, for creating that platform for us all. Thank you for being with us. Thank you, everybody, for joining live in this incredible time that we've spent together. Please share it. Please share it. And we're going to wrap up today with our good news from Donna. So I'm going to share my screen, and just give me a moment to do that.
And if it's not on the video, you can go to heartmath.com to access this free series. My website's under construction, or you could have gotten it there. Sorry.
That's perfect. Just give me thumbs up that people can hear this.
Can you open it up, Brian?
Most people know what it feels like to be in a state of harmony and flow, where our hearts and minds are working together, and there's a genuine connection with others involved. It's easy to love this experience of synergy, but oftentimes this happens by chance rather than by design or intention. Wouldn't it be nice to be able to produce this flow on demand in our day-to-day communications, projects, and challenges? Research shows that when we shift into a coherent state, the heart and brain operate synergistically, like two systems that mesh into one. We can learn how to activate and sustain the synergy between the heart and brain and prevent stress-producing patterns, along with increasing our mental clarity and discernment capacity. When we do this, our creative solutions for personal, social, and global challenges become more accessible, providing us with more intuitive access and flow. Over the past 20 years, the Institute of Heart Math has produced coherence-building techniques that are intentionally simple and based on scientific research. Our mission theme is to simplify a process for intuitive connection to the soul's wisdom and guidance for unfolding who we truly are. New research suggests that our energetic or spiritual heart is an access point for our natural inner technology, the heart's intuitive intelligence, which can elevate our communications, decisions, and choices to a much higher level of effectiveness. One interesting finding from our research is that when people hold genuine core heart feelings such as appreciation or compassion, it naturally increases their heart coherence. We use the term energetics to refer to the systems that we can't see or touch. For example, our thoughts, emotions, and intuitions. The mind and heart feelings are energetic sources that underlie our thoughts and emotions. They're primary drivers of our biological systems and have a powerful influence on our behaviors, choices, and results. The intuitive, energetic heart is what people have associated with their inner voice throughout history. From our perspective, the energetic heart communicates a steady stream of intuitive information to the mind and brain, which in most cases we only use a small percentage of, because our ego choices overrides the intuitive suggestion. Access to our heart's intuition varies among people, yet we all have it. As we learn to slow down our mind and attune to our deeper heart feelings, our natural intuitive connection can occur. Intuition is like energetic gold. Intuitive insights often unfold more understanding of ourselves, others, issues, and life than years of accumulated knowledge. It's why the state of coherence is rapidly gaining interest. In this state, more and more people are reporting increased access to their heart's intuitive guidance, realizing it's within them. And with a little practice, it's easier to access than they thought. Research conducted in our laboratories has confirmed that when an individual is in heart coherence, the heart radiates a more coherent electromagnetic energy field that can benefit people, animals, and the environment. A growing body of scientific evidence suggests that when there is coherent group cooperation, it results in increased flow, effectiveness, and the potential for higher outcomes. It seems as though the group participants are not only in sync, but are communicating on an unseen energetic level. Our personal coherence can benefit our families, co-workers, friends, pets, and more, simply by our presence. From our research, we know that heart coherence is not an idle state. It reaches out, it influences and supports others in many beneficial ways. Scientific evidence provides support for a global field environment that connects all living systems and consciousness. Many scientists believe that a feedback loop exists between all humans and the Earth's energetic systems. We are working together with other initiatives to realize the increased effectiveness of collective intention and cooperation. There are growing numbers of organizations with tools and techniques that facilitate increased heart connection and collaboration with others. This evolves into a collective opening of the heart, which is a major step towards increasing social and global coherence. We call this heart-based living. IHM, through its Global Coherence Initiative project, is strategically placing 14 sensors around the world to measure the Earth's magnetic resonance. This global network will enable our scientific inquiry into the interconnections between the Earth's magnetic field and collective human emotions and behaviors. Science has shown that the Earth's magnetic field affects humans in profound ways, but our intention is to study how humans, as a collective, affect the Earth's magnetic field environment. Every individual's energy contributes to the global field environment, and each person's thoughts, emotions, and intentions affects the field. A first step in increasing the coherence of the field environment is for each individual to take responsibility for their own energy. We can do this by becoming more conscious of the thoughts, feelings, and attitudes that we are feeding the field each day. Our hypothesis is that as enough individuals increase their heart coherence, it leads to increased social coherence. As a critical mass of cultures and nations become more harmoniously aligned, this can eventually lead to increased global coherence and sustainable peace. Doc Childre, the founder of HeartMath, puts it this way: as more of humanity practices heart-based living, it will qualify the rite of passage into the next level of consciousness. Using our heart's intuitive guidance will become common sense based on practical intelligence.
Well, there you have it. Thank you so much, Donna, for your incredible gift and your light. Thank you for giving us tools to be more of ourselves and shine our light brighter. And thank you everyone for being here and connecting, creating, and collaborating to make the world a better place. Thank you to all the moms. Thank you to my mom. Thank you so much. I love you.
Thank
Have
you.
a beautiful day, everybody.
Thank you all. Thank you, Russell, Megan, Brian.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you, Donna.
Thank you, Donna. Thank you,
Thank you, Donna.
everybody. You can unmute yourselves and
Happy
say
Mother's
goodbye to
Day.
everybody.
Have a wonderful
Mother's Day.
Bye. Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day.